100 years ago. It hardly seemed as far back as that when Erich Friedenberg of the States of Free Germany stood up in the International Council chamber and announced to the assembled delegates that mankind had at last reached its peak. Further progress forward was impossible. In the last few years, only 2 major inventions had been filed. After that, they had all watched the big graphs and charts, seen the lines going down and down according to their squares, until they dipped into nothing. The great well of human ingenuity had run dry. And then Erich had stood up and said the thing everyone knew but was afraid to say. Naturally, since it had been made known in a formal fashion, the council would have to begin work on the problem. There were 3 ideas of solution. One of them seemed more humane than the other 2. This solution was eventually adopted. It was stabilization. There was great trouble at first when the people learned about it, and mass riots took place in many leading cities. The stock market crashed, and the economy of many countries went out of control. Food prices rose, and there was mass starvation. War broke out, for the first time in 300 years. But stabilization had begun. Dissenters were destroyed, radicals were carted off. It was hard and cruel, but seemed to be the only answer. At last the world settled down to a rigid state, a controlled state in which there could be no change, either backward or forward. Each year, every inhabitant took a difficult, week-long examination to test whether or not he was backsliding. All youths were given 15 years of intensive education. Those who could not keep up with the others simply disappeared. Inventions were inspected by control offices to make certain that they could not upset stability. If it seemed that they might, and that is why we cannot allow your invention to be put into use, the controller explained to Benton. I am sorry. He watched Benton, saw him start, the blood drain from his face, his hands tremble. Come now, he said kindly. Don't take it so hard. There are other things to do. After all, you are not in danger of the cart. But Benton only stared. At last he said, But you don't understand. I have no invention. I don't know what you're talking about. No invention, the controller exclaimed. But I was here the day you entered it yourself. I saw you sign the statement of ownership. You handed me the model. He stared at Benton. Then he pressed a stud on his desk and said into a small circle of light, Send me up the information on number 34500-D, please. A moment passed, and then a tube appeared in the circle of light. The controller lifted the cylindrical object out and passed it to Benton. You'll find your signed statement there, he said. And it has your fingerprints in the print squares, only you could have made them. Numbly, Benton opened the tube and took out the papers inside. He studied them a few moments, and then slowly put them back and handed the tube to the controller. Yes, he said, that's my writing, and those are certainly my prints. But I don't understand. I never invented a thing in my life, and I've never been here before. What is this invention? What is it? The controller echoed, amazed. Don't you know? Benton shook his head. No, I do not, he said slowly. Well, if you want to find out about it, you'll have to go down to the offices. All I can tell you is that the plans you sent us have been denied rights by the control board. I'm only a spokesman. You'll have to take it up with them. Benton got up and walked to the door. As with the other, this one sprang open to his touch, and he went on through into the control offices. As the door closed behind him, the controller called angrily, I don't know what